We the people! We the people! We the people! We the people!
United States of America.
Absolutely, and one thing I'd like you to mention is, since you beat this, have you been audited, harassed, or anything of the sort since you beat it in '93?
I've got some saber rattling been going on. I think they're jockeying. I think they're going to move on me on a civil side for now. I think they're going to come in and try to assess me with taxes for those years, and I'm looking forward to that.
Looking forward to winning the fight.
That's, you know, I'm looking forward to that one. They couldn't win because the truth isn't on their side.
Absolutely not. And the man mentioned before that they had backed off because they knew they were wrong. So that says something about that whole situation. Thank you. That's all I got to say.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mr. Cryer. My name is Charles Pacerno. I represent the Rhode Island militia here in the state of Rhode Island for the last 19 years down at the State House. I've been down to the State House since 1993 trying to figure out where my freedoms and my rights have been going. I was informed by my grandfather in 1966 not to get a Social Security number, because by the time I got to be his age, every penny that I put into the government would have been successfully stolen from me. Well, he had no idea about the credit fiat money system that we were going to go into. And he had the basic premise of it, right? He just was off about 20 years and about 1,000 times off. So basically, I never got a Social Security number, so I never paid income tax to anybody, state or federal. I was investigated in 1974 because my dad, my uncles, my cousins were bookies here in the state of Rhode Island. And the FBI came in and visited me at my business up in Situate, my truck service business, and told me that I owed them income tax. And I told, look, I have a Social Security number. I'm not paying any income tax because I'm going to take care of myself in my old age. Well, you don't know that that's going to happen. You should be paying so that the government. So I know exactly what's going to happen. Is you people are sick. You want every penny that there ever is going to be, and that's how it's going to be. The only way I'm going to have a future is if I keep my money. 4 hours later, they called me back. They told me I was exempt from paying any income tax. So basically, I salute the fact that you went and fought them, but you understand about the contracts because you're in the lawyer industry and all, and that you signed to give them their money. I'm not signing any contracts. I don't sign a license contract that they forced me into. I drove for years with no license here in the state of Rhode Island. I had 129 operating on suspended licenses. I never had one conviction because of the fact that I knew what the law was. That my license expired in 1979, I never renewed it, so therefore how could you suspend a license that doesn't exist? And basically this is the fact that people don't understand that you can't get involved with the government, sign the contract. You are the government, you are the owner of the government, and therefore why does the government have to tell you what to do and what not to do? I already know what not to do. No, you can tell me what I might be able to do, I might actually learn something, but I already know what I can't do. The government is supposed to be the ones that are working for us and for our benefit and our goodness. And they are absolutely not working for any of that whatsoever. They could care less about us. The government, the federal government is supposed to do 3 things. Establish diplomatic ties with other countries, talk to them. Not set up puppet governments or have any of these dictators in there. It's supposed to defend the known perimeters of the country. We're not supposed to be in Japan or Afghanistan or Germany or Iran or any place else. And the third thing that the government could care less about is defend everybody's inalienable rights. Inalienable rights. That's what the words are. Everyone knows what a lien is. And when you have inalienable rights, they are God-given from another source, not from the government of the state. You cannot be given any rights or taken any rights away from the state. And that's what we need to fight, is the fact that they've taken all our rights, they turn them into privileges, and they've assessed fees on them. It's all wrong. And that's basically where we're at. Is we're losing our freedoms one drop at a time, but they take it miles on us. Because there's nobody aware that basically the Constitution of the United States, Article 1, Section 9, states, and the Rhode Island State Constitution also states the same thing, word for word, Article 1, Section 12, the government shall not impair the obligations of contracts. Nobody understands what the word impairment means. You cannot be forced into a contract against your will. As long as you voluntarily sign over your rights to these idiots, then therefore you're in the master-slave, master-servant, master-serf relationship with them. You have to pay them the money once you start signing that thing. And the only way you can get out of it is if we all do it together. That's because there's so many people now that are in this master-slave relationship with the government, they can't see any other way of doing it. This is what we have to do, is we have to give them the money to destroy us. It's hopelessly makes no sense.
See, I told you, it's in your blood. It's in your blood, guys. We don't fight your destiny. You know, line up and take the attitude. Whether you accept everything the gentleman said or not, whether you agree with everything, accept his attitude. Because that's what it takes. It's exactly that. And he's right about 99% of that.
We signed 3 ships here before they had any Boston Tea Party here, Mr. Cryer, in the state of Rhode Island. When Rhode Island militia showed up with all the other militias from all the states, the Rhode Island militia had their own uniforms, their own boots, their own muskets, their own gunpowder. They had cannons and they had bayonets. Nobody had bayonets. We brought in a flag that looked very similar to that had 4 stars, 5 stars, and 4 stars again to represent with the 13 stripes on and all, the blue field. The Continental Congress liked our flag so much, they adopted it and put the stars in a circle. We also, the Declaration of Independence, emanated from Rhode Island. On May 5th, 1776, Rhode Island declared its independence from England 2 months before the Continental Congress adopted our Declaration of Independence and declared it for the other 12 colonies. Rhode Island was the first one to succeed from the Union, the first state. And in reality, Rhode Island was the last state in 1789 to sign on to the Constitution because we feared exactly what has happened, a strong federal government. And that's where we're at right now, because we have been taken over by the federal government. And that isn't the way it works. In a true constitutional republic, the people own the government, then the local government's the next most powerful situation, then the state government's a powerful situation, the federal government is the satellite. In a democracy, the federal government is everything, and the people are nothing. And that's exactly, they turned the whole thing completely exactly around on itself, and it's all wrong.
This is not a democracy. A democracy is 2 foxes and a hen voting on what's for dinner. This is a republic. And they call the law, the Constitution, the supreme law of the land in Article 6. But the supreme law of the land is what's above that. Now, which is greater, the creature or its creator? We created this creature. We're the 4th branch of government. And the one mistake, the only mistake I've ever found that the founding fathers made was that they did not identify and describe the duties and the powers of the 4th branch of government, and that's us. And it's our job that when the Supreme Court doesn't put up a limit and say, no, you can't do that because it's out of bounds, it's up for us to step forward and say, I don't care what the Supreme Court says you can do, put it back. We're the 4th branch of government. We should have been in the Constitution, but the founding fathers assumed that we would know that we're the 4th branch. We would know that we were the ones that were ultimately responsible for our own fates. But we would know that we were the ones that were responsible for keeping the dog on the leash and for knowing which end is the tail and which end is the head. We're the head, they're the tail. It's time we started acting like it. Any other questions?
Did you ever see that Got Freedom video?
Say again?
Did you ever see that Got Freedom video? Where it talks about Rhode Island as economic freedom of where...
Yes, it was the one you commented that somebody had sent to you.
What about the Gatsby and then the undoing
Rockefeller and...
Aldrich High School is right over here.
Yes, I have. I saw it. Adam sent that to me last night, and I watched it about 3 o'clock this morning. And it's fantastic. It's great. That was your work? Very well done.
That was me in the video.
Very well done. That was, but, you know, that's one of the things that thrilled me about coming up here to Rhode Island the very first time I came up here. And I'll tell you what, after meeting you guys, I'd move up here if it weren't for all this sorry weather that you guys have. You know, right now, we're having a cold snap back home, and it's not going to get above 65 tomorrow.
Oh, boy. Fuck that.
Tough life down there, but up here, you guys, and he's running around in short sleeves. I don't understand this. I'm just not that tough. I thought we were tough down there.
No, you're tough.
All right,
I can take on the weather, but I can't take on the IRS, that's for sure.
All right.
You should be wearing a muscle shirt.
We can do it.
Now, that's not some inspirational stuff right here, man. Thank you so much. That was awesome.
This concludes this program broadcast. We the People, a freedom of speech television show. Go to www.wethepeopleofri.org.